You will be part of NFL Network's coverage this evening, focusing obviously on the quarterback group that could comprise, I guess, what would you say, like almost 20-something% of tonight's draft.
Yeah,
like, that's it. This is coming.
It's going to be fun. We know that 4 are going to go. Do we get up to 6? How does that play out? Somebody trading up. I mean, that's the thing that's beautiful about it is that we always know it's such a hot commodity when you have good quarterbacks.
Yes.
Because everybody needs a good quarterback. And so, do some of those teams lower down, have the fireworks and firepower to go up and get their guy? Do they get him later on? Does somebody jump back into the first round? But we've got 6 guys that can obviously play and had great college careers. So it is going to be fun to talk about them and see where they end up.
And I know this is so your lane. It is so up your alley. When you're breaking down tape or film and evaluating a quarterback, how do you do it from the collegiate level to the pro level? What is the code that you think needs to be cracked?
I don't know if there is a code that can be cracked from the standpoint that all of these guys have to get better. Like, I don't care how good you are in college, you have to get better if you're going to be great at the NFL level. So that's the part of it that you can't crack. Like, I don't know which one of these guys. I mean, I continue to always look back at Tom Brady. Like, he's 45 and he hasn't hit his ceiling yet, right? We throw around the word ceiling all the time. They got a high ceiling. But we don't know what somebody's ceiling is until they get there. But the great ones always get better and better and better, even at the NFL level. So all of these guys are going to have to get better. But
what is the ability that a collegiate quarterback needs to show on tape that would at least lead you to believe that this guy has X? To succeed?
Well, you know me. I'm first and foremost all about processing. I still believe the quarterback position at the NFL level is played processing information and getting the ball out of your hands. I know we've got some tremendously athletic quarterbacks in the National Football League now, but you watch them, and I watch the tape week after week after week. The teams that have the best chance to win are the quarterbacks that make the layups, that do the things they're supposed to do most consistently. So that's what I'm always trying to see at the college level is when I have a play that I can decipher, okay, where I would go with the football, how I would coach this play. I watch that quarterback run the play over and over again. Do they stay consistent with it? Do they read it the same way? Do they understand with a different coverage where they're going with the football? So I'm always trying to figure that piece out first because I believe no matter what, no matter how physically talented you are, if you can mentally process information and you've got enough physical talent, you can be successful at the NFL level. And so that's where it all starts with me. But it's hard. The college game is played differently. The hashes are different. The plays are different. It's more simplified than at the NFL level. And so trying to figure out enough of those pieces for these guys is where it gets really, really hard.
And also some of them aren't even asked to process. They just say, stop, take a look. We'll show you a photograph of a hammer, Paul Feinbaum on a box of Wheaties, and that's your read right now. You know what I mean? Like that's essentially what sometimes it is. So in terms of processing, would that make Michael Penix Jr. number 1? Would you? Is he the best processor of the quarterbacks that you've seen?
Well, I tell you what, Jaden Daniels just had the best season on tape of all of these guys.
He did.
And he did everything. So you saw the processing, you saw the NFL-type reads and throws down the field. So this season, I believe he was the best quarterback in college football. Obviously, he won the Heisman, and rightfully so. So he had the whole body of work this year. You were just talking to Coach about it before. Is the question becomes, is that Jaden Daniels who you get every year moving forward in the NFL? Is he the next Joe Burrow who had kind of that one breakout season and becomes this great quarterback? Michael Penix was phenomenal. And for 2 years, he's been really, really good, really consistent, throwing the ball down the field, which is another parameter for me. At the NFL level, you have to be able to make those chunk throws consistently. 15 to 35 yards down the field, you've got to be able to make that throw. Michael Penix, as good as anybody in college football at doing that. Now, the question becomes is how do these guys in the room deal with his medical? Like, what do you do with that? If you're going up to get a guy and you want him to be your franchise guy, how do you treat that? So I believe the only reason that he falls down the draft boards is because of the medical. Because if you watch what he did on tape the last 2 years, you could argue that he's number 3 on this list, just behind Caleb, who obviously had a great 3-year run in college football, winning the Heisman, all that stuff, and then Jaden, who had the best season last year, you'd slot him right behind them, I think, when you watch the tape at the number 3 spot. But will he get picked there? You got some people saying 5, maybe even 6 on the list. To me, it's all because of just the mental or the physical part of it.
And the thing I love about this conversation, Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show, among many reasons, we're layering here, because there are so many layers to this evaluation process, from the tape and then the parts of the tape that you see, and how processing needs to be crucial. And now you see a guy who's not only great at processing, but also making the chunk plays that you need to get with Penix. But there's a medical issue. And then just the ultimate coup de grace, or cherry on top, is fit. Fit. Is it a fit with what a team is running for a system? Is it a fit for a running of a system that could change because the coach is coming in or on a hot seat or anything like that? So Jaden Daniels, you said, had the best season on tape. Is he a fit, the best fit for what Washington is about to attempt to do offensively, in your estimation?
Well, just knowing that Cliff Kingsbury is there and what they did in college, and I watched him a lot, obviously, when he was in Arizona. We're at home for me, and watching the offense that they ran. They run a lot of what we call pure progression type stuff, which simply means no matter what the coverage you get, this guy's number 1, this guy's number 2, this guy's number 3, and you're just working through your progression. That was similar to what Jaden Daniels did a lot at LSU. And so I believe, from a fit standpoint, what they want to do, Jaden Daniels would fit very, very well in that system. But I will say this, because we talk about system a lot, and there's no question system can play a part in how we see the game as quarterbacks, because we all see the game differently. I say this all the time. You could take 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and give them the same play. One might love it. One would say, I'm okay with that. And another guy goes, I don't like that, because it's all based on how we see the game. Some guys see it from low to high. Some guys see it from top down. And so I say that because, you're going to have different coaches that teach it a different way. But the plays primarily within most offenses are very similar. And so it's about understanding how you're going to read that play no matter what system you're in. Like 65, 75% of offensive playbooks around the NFL are going to be exactly the same. You're going to have the same plays. You're going to call them differently. They're going to be run a little bit differently, but they're going to be the same basic plays. So it's not like this is, rock, like, hey, I've got this system over here, which is so dramatically different than what you're going to get over here. That's not necessarily the case, even though it might be coached and taught a little bit differently. A lot of it comes down to how you're going to process that information.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.